Good morning, good afternoon, happy evening, wherever you're watching and listening from around the world. I'm so delighted that you're here for this new week of Reinvent Your Impact. And all this week, we're going to be talking about reinventing your image and influence. Oh, yes, this is a great topic. And I want you to know that I'm going to be sharing advice and some actionable strategies that you can use to help you become a better, more confident woman in leadership. I'm Dr. Geneva, a leadership expert, and I specialize in reinvention. And I believe with the right mindset and skills, any woman can positively influence teams, communities, organizations, things they care about. And you don't need a fancy title, I believe, to lead change. And it doesn't matter whether you're running a company, leading teams, coaching your kids' baseball league team, or leading at a church or in your family, running a business. You can grow and share your gifts because you have those gifts, those unique things, talents, skills inside of you that are waiting to be shared with the world so that you can make an even bigger impact on yourself and on others. So I believe, anyone who's listened to me during this week knows that I believe that when women lead confidently from their strengths, that all thrive: communities, families, organizations. So today's lesson is really one of my favorite topics to talk about in this series on Reinvent Your Impact. And this is about leveraging your personal style. And everybody's got a style. Leveraging that style as a tool, a pivotal tool in reinventing your image or influence. And when you have a style and you use it, it's a great thing. When you're reinventing your image, you may run into stereotypes, or you may be not reinventing your image right now because there are stereotypes at your workplace or things, myths that you believe. But it's so important because this reinvention of your own style, leveraging your own personal appearance, really helps you shape an identity, a leadership identity that really resonates with your values and aspirations. So it speaks to who you are. Okay, so today's quote I want us to think about in this lesson is from Rachel Zoe, who says, "Style is a way to say who you are without having to speak." What do y'all think about that? If you believe, what she says may be, on the mark, let me know. Basically, what she's talking about is the power of personal style as a nonverbal communicator of your identity. And in leadership, this means using your appearance as a strategic tool to express your unique leadership style and values. And this can give you a leg up. That is your personal style, how you dress, bottom line, what accessories you wear. And we're going to talk a little bit about this. So let me know if you believe that how you dress, your style, is a nonverbal communicator. Give me a thumbs up in the chat, whether you're here with me live or on the replay. Let me know. So let's look at three uh, points about this subject of how you dress, your style as a nonverbal communicator, and how you can use it as a tool strategically to enhance your leadership position, to reinvent your image, and to really, um, speak about, talk about, show your values and aspirations. The first point I want to make is that it's important for us to think about breaking stereotypes with our personal style. And I wanted to talk about this one first because really I started dealing with this at the very beginning of my career. Now, as you know, I've been in leadership running multi-million dollar organizations for years. And when I first started out, this was a big thing. That is how you dressed, because there was this expectation that, particularly in corporate settings, that you would dress in a very, women would dress in a very traditional conservative manner, which often meant, dark muted colors, classic cuts, etc. And I also, when I started my career, was the only person who looked like me. So that means that I was the only person of color in the room, as well as the only woman most times. So, there was this really pressure that I felt to, um, really to be taken seriously, that I had to deal with this expectation of traditional conservative clothing. Now, I'm going to tell you, that just didn't happen to be me then, but that's what I thought I had to do, particularly the aspect of being taken seriously. Okay. But as I went on, I recognized that I just had to do something different because it was uncomfortable, but I knew I would be taking a risk. So after I had been, on the job for a while, as I began to move through the organization, I started experimenting, finding pieces on my wardrobe that might be conservative, but had a dash of a little vibrancy or a splash of color here and there. And I must admit, I started slowly, but eventually I stepped into my own style and I started wearing brightly colored blazers at board meetings. I broke away from the expected, not only dark suits, but in a certain style, the grays and the navy blues, etc., which I love. Don't get me wrong, but I strategically thought about it and knew that I was breaking away from the stereotypes, but at the same time, what was probably more important was that I was sending a message of confidence and individuality. And so that's the thing I'd like for you all to consider, that when we break stereotypes with our personal style, we're really challenging um, the expectation that we can only wear certain things, that we can only um, be into and wear certain colors. And so, this aspect of breaking stereotypes with your personal style, I think, is a good one. The second um, point I want to make about how you can use your appearance and your style to reinvent your image, to really create your brand and your leadership identity is you may want to think about consistency in your appearance. And so, in other words, if there's something that you wear that's particularly recognizable, this could mean adopting a signature look that becomes synonymous with your leadership identity. So, there may be someone who always wears a terrific scarf or a particular distinctive watch that you remember, and it's memorable and it helps with your brand image. I have a very good friend who's a well-known um, artist, art dealer, all over the country, and he wears this hat, and everyone knows him by his hat. In fact, he's made it part of his brand. And so his photos, there'll be silhouettes of him with this hat, this distinctive hat. And whenever he doesn't have it on, people will say, something wrong? They'll ask him, hey, etc. But it's become part of his identity, part of his appearance. So, why is this? Why am I, putting this out for you to think about? Is that as this whole week we've been talking about ways to reinvent yourself, and a part of that, of course, is your brand, how you're seen, and if the style and appearance and things that you wear really is a nonverbal communicator, you can create the image that you want to by um, adding a consistency in some style that you have. Okay, so you can you can create this signature look that becomes synonymous with you and your leadership identity. Whatever it is, it really isn't a right or wrong kind of thing. Now, this fights a stereotype too, which again, I experienced in my career, and that is that leaders should blend in, that, we shouldn't um, be distinguished in any way or separate ourselves from those that we're leading or being a part of. And, again, I'm saying the opposite of that, that you can use a signature accessory or element and counter the stereotype that you need to blend in as a leader so that you create a distinctive personal brand that is both memorable and authentic. Okay. And then the third point on this whole conversation about appearance and how it relates to us establishing our leadership identity is that it's important to adapt your style to the context that you're in. And that means that basically you are, yeah, I'm just trying to see if we still got our quote up. Yes. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we're still looking at what Rachel says. Style is a way to say who you are without having to speak. So, this third point is about adapting to where you're going, to the context. When I started out in my career, and through most of it, I did and do a lot of work in the community. And so I would adapt, what I wore to those meetings, to those conversations, to those settings. And, it really is important for you to be able to be flexible and tailor your appearance to different professional settings while maintaining your unique style. So, you might want to think about when you go to a networking event, you'd wear a smart, tailored dress, maybe a vibrant color. But then perhaps to a high level meeting, you might want to wear a more formal suit, or but you it's important to do that without compromising your personal style. So the third point that I wanted to make is that as you're creating your style, that you can and should adapt it to the context, to the setting you're in. The bottom line is how you style yourself, how you accessorize your appearance is very much a part of your brand, of your identity, of your presence. And thinking about it strategically makes a difference. And you can use your appearance, your style, your clothing, the accessories that you have to leverage your identity in different situations. So, in other words, your appearance isn't just about the aesthetics. It can be a critical strategic component of your leadership toolbox. Bottom line. Okay. So, what I want you to do this week is I'd like you to look at your wardrobe and experiment or pick out a particular style. Actually, look at your wardrobe and say, Dr. Geneva said that I might want to, think about a signature style. I love wearing scarves and I have all of these scarves. I think I'm going to start wearing that as my personal brand, whatever it is. But anyway, look at those things that could align or enhance your leadership identity and presence. Have fun with it. And remember that you can use this as a strategic tool to be the leader only you can be. I'll see you next time. Bye.